My name is Ben Garfield, and this is my senior moment. I came to Derryfield as a soccer player. I knew the teams, players, and stats to just about every European soccer league. I'd spend a plethora of hours each week dorking out over the upcoming matches, and then hours more watching the games. I wore a soccer jersey at least 4 days a week, a different team for each day. Monday was always for Arsenal, Tuesday for the U.S. men's national team, Wednesday was reserved for the Netherlands, and Friday for Germany. In essence, I lived and breathed soccer. Now, as for playing soccer, I was the star of the JV team. Over about 10 games, I netted 2 goals and assisted 3 more. Back then, I was very proud of my accomplishments. On the field, I pretended I was playing for my favorite teams, as if we were in front of thousands of screaming fans, not just a couple of parents. Eventually, by playoffs, I was invited to practice with the varsity team. In the end, unfortunately, I was only able to show up to one practice due to an injury. Now, this injury is by far one of the most embarrassing stories of my life. Something only a select few know about, i.e. my parents. It was the night before Halloween, and I decided to ghost my neighbor's house, which is something I had done since I was a little kid. Ghosting is a tradition where someone buys a bag of candy, leaves it on the door of a neighbor's house, rings their doorbell, and runs away before they're seen. This particular time, I successfully dropped the bag at the door, rang the doorbell, and sprinted away into the darkness. What I failed to see was a rock that was about knee-high. So, at full speed, my knee crashed into the rock, and I flipped over it, which was probably the worst pain I felt in my entire life. I had a bruise there for weeks after. Eventually, my neighbors turned on their lights, saw me lying down in their yard, writhing in pain, and called my parents. I had to be carried up to my house by my mom. I only weighed 100 pounds back then. So, moving along, sometime over the next year, my infatuation with soccer ceased to exist. For instance, I haven't kicked a soccer ball in just about a year now. No longer do I have a jersey for every day of the week. Yes, I still like soccer. I still enjoy watching the occasional weekend games, but my relationship with the sport is a little healthier. Spring of freshman year, I started doing something new, distance running. I didn't start out fast. In fact, I was one of the slowest on the team. As Caleb Richmond observed at one of the meets, "Your form looks like my grandmother's. She's 70 and has arthritis." As the season progressed, I put in many miles and began to improve rapidly. Moreover, I learned to love the sport. Today, my new obsession, or as the administration puts it, passion, is running. I understand. To most people, running is monotonous. I hear other sports teams all the time complain about 20-minute runs, which, by the way, is our warm-up. To others, running is just a way to get in better shape. However, to me, it's so much more. I'm drawn to its simplicity. I crave being out in the woods, getting lost in my thoughts. I love the ability to simply feel, to be, and not worry about anything else. It's my release, it's my alone time. I furthermore love the people of the sport. I've never seen such a close group of people as a cross-country team. We're a team of many different interests. Some of us are running enthusiasts, others are musical pros, and a couple are there just because they need the sports credit. Yet, running bonds us together. We are brought together by the shared experience of pain, glory, and sometimes runner's high. Without the team, the sport would be nothing. I love not only the team, but my competition. We may hate each other for the 17 minutes or so the 5K takes to complete, but we're friends after it. Having played team sports for 10 years, I can't say the relationship with my opponents is the same. For example, I despise, still to this day, this one team from Concord, the Crushers as they were called. They always appropriately crushed us, and they were never classy about defeating us. However, I like my cross-country team, even the guys who are much faster than me. So I write this speech not just as a recruitment for the cross-country and track teams, although if you're interested, please talk to me sometime, but hopefully as a lesson for some of you. I've realized that I don't want to stop growing up. It doesn't matter if you're a sixth grader, incoming freshman, outgoing senior, or faculty member. Always look to pursue something new, whether it's a new sport, academic topic, or friend group. Once we stop trying new things, life gets boring. Who knows? I may enter college as a runner and leave as a theater enthusiast or ultimate Frisbee star. Leave your options open. I don't ever want to get to a point in my life where I think, well, this is it. I'm done growing, this is who I am, and there's no point in changing it. Or as our generation says, I don't want to peak anytime soon. That being said, it's also important to know yourself. A good example of this is from a cross-country race the other week. One of the runners to the other team, who is significantly faster than I am, was at the race. My strategy, which I now fully regret, was to hang off his shoulder for as long as possible. The first mile he took out rather hot. As we approached the mile mark, someone was there yelling out splits. She called out 5 minutes 4 seconds, 5:05, 5:06 as we passed her. Put in perspective, that's around 20 seconds faster than I usually go out per mile. At that moment, I knew I was in trouble, but still, I struggled along right behind him. At the halfway mark, we ran by my coach. His face said it all. Dude, you're an idiot. And, well, he was right. The rest of the race, I was in such pain. I grew dizzier, my stomach cramped, and it felt like I was breathing in sandpaper. As the race progressed, he began to get further and further ahead of me. In the final stretch, I stumbled towards the line. With about 100 feet to go, I tripped and passed out due to exhaustion. I didn't finish the race and have accordingly dealt with hundreds of jokes from my team. Thanks, Nick. So it's important to know yourself. I should have realized that it was not a good idea to hold on for as long as I did. Sometimes you need to know your limits to realize that second place is better than last place. After all, changing is a process, not a one-time thing. It takes time. Ultimately, my message is this. Please come and cheer the cross-country team on in our home meet this afternoon. Girls go off at 4, guys at 4:45. Thank you.